Hello, everyone. Welcome to Life Philosophy Talks. Over 80, life nears its final chapter. To enjoy their remaining years in peace, wise seniors plan ahead for these four things. Once a person reaches 80, the reality is that every day is one day less. Though it may sound harsh, this is an unavoidable truth for everyone. Time never stops, and the end of life becomes more apparent with each passing moment. As the years go by, physical abilities inevitably decline, and our roles in society subtly shift. As an old saying goes, forewarned is forearmed. To fail to plan is to plan to fail. At this stage in life, it's a sign of wisdom and foresight for seniors to plan and arrange important matters in advance. These preparations not only help them handle changes in health, finances, and living situations with greater ease, but also reduce the emotional and practical burden on their families, ensuring a higher quality of life in their later years. Many long-lived seniors agree that planning ahead is the key to a happy retirement. By making early arrangements, they can face the challenges of aging and illness with peace of mind, no longer worrying about the uncertainties of the future. This allows them to truly enjoy a calm, worry-free retirement, making their final journey in life more peaceful and fulfilling. First thing, settle your affairs to avoid family conflicts over inheritance. Mr. Lee, who lives in our community, was 83 years old. He was in relatively good health, with no major illnesses, and no one expected that a sudden accident would take his life. His death not only brought deep sorrow to his family, but also triggered an unexpected dispute. After Mr. Lee passed away, his children rushed home from various places. Initially, they gathered to arrange the funeral and say their final goodbyes to their father. But it wasn't long before the issue of inheritance surfaced. At first, the siblings were calm and respectful, sitting together to discuss how to handle their father's funeral and divide his assets. They reminisced about their father's life, as if he were still there with them. However, as is often the case, emotions soon gave way to disputes over money. The family that had once been so close began to argue. The eldest son felt he deserved a larger share as the eldest, while the second son insisted he should get more because he had cared for their father for years. Other siblings, citing financial difficulties, also sought a bigger portion. After multiple heated arguments, family bonds faded and greed took over. In the end, the siblings turned against each other. Unable to reach an agreement, they had no choice but to take the matter to court, hoping to resolve their differences legally. This dispute not only tore the family apart, but also cast a shadow over Mr. Lee's passing, turning his death into a family tragedy. Such scenes are all too common in real life. Many seniors, failing to settle their affairs in advance, leave behind family conflicts over inheritance, sometimes leading to bitter disputes. To avoid this, every senior should carefully plan their affairs in advance. Why is it important for seniors to arrange their affairs ahead of time? As we age, our memory and decision-making abilities gradually decline. Seniors may reach a point where they're no longer capable of expressing their wishes or managing their estate. When this happens, their children may end up fighting over the inheritance, tearing the family apart. On the other hand, by preparing a will and settling their affairs early, seniors can make their intentions clear and prevent their children from fighting over assets after they're gone, thereby preserving family harmony. This way, regardless of future health or mental state, they can enjoy their remaining years in peace, knowing that family conflicts won't arise after their passing. Planning ahead is the mark of a wise elder. By making arrangements in advance, seniors not only take responsibility for themselves, but also show consideration for their children, ensuring that family bonds remain strong even in times of grief. Second thing, Resolve old grudges to avoid leaving hidden dangers for future generations. A few days ago, the news reported a heartbreaking incident. An 8-year-old child from a village suddenly went missing. According to the parents, the child had come home from school with his grandmother, and later his cousin came over to play. The grandmother gave them some pocket money to buy snacks. However, when the parents returned from work, they couldn't find their child anywhere. Desperate, the parents questioned the cousin, who said they had parted ways after buying the snacks, and he didn't know where his younger cousin had gone. The parents searched the village, but found no trace of their son. Finally, they called the police. The village had no surveillance cameras, so the police had to conduct door-to-door interviews. Villagers speculated that the boy might have been abducted by traffickers, as it seemed impossible for a child to simply vanish in such a small village. As a result, everyone became highly vigilant, fearing another child might disappear. While the police followed leads on potential human traffickers, they also asked the grandmother and parents if they had any conflicts with other villagers, suspecting a possible familiar abductor. Suddenly, the grandmother remembered a bitter dispute over land she had with a villager more than 50 years ago. Though the village chief had mediated the issue back then, it was clear that the resentment had not been fully resolved. The police immediately went to that villager's house. After some questioning, the villager finally cracked and admitted to abducting the child out of lingering resentment from the decades-old conflict. Fortunately, the child was unharmed, but the incident left the entire village reflecting. A grudge from over 50 years ago had endangered the life of a grandchild. This incident serves as a profound lesson and a stark reminder to all seniors. Resolve old grudges and don't leave hidden dangers for future generations. Throughout life, it's inevitable to encounter conflicts with others and accumulate grievances. What may seem like a trivial disagreement can fester over time, becoming a potential hazard within the family. For seniors, if these old grudges aren't resolved while they're still alive, their children and grandchildren may become the unintended victims of unresolved conflicts. As the saying goes, a house with leftover hatred will leave its descendants in sorrow. History is filled with examples of family feuds from one generation wreaking havoc on the next. Children raised in such an environment often carry emotional and psychological burdens that can fracture family relationships. While family feuds and martial arts dramas may be exaggerated, the lessons they impart are clear. Generations can be consumed by cycles of revenge, living lives filled with hatred and devoid of peace. In the end, revenge becomes the family's sole purpose, and true happiness is never achieved. Wise seniors understand that resolving old conflicts and letting go of grudges is not only a way to free their own hearts, but also an act of love and responsibility toward their descendants. By addressing these lingering issues, they can ensure family harmony and offer future generations a brighter path. Third thing, clear your debts to avoid burdening your children. Have you ever seen the TV drama Growing Pains? In the show, John Nanson's father loses everything due to a failed stock market gamble. Not only does he lose his house, but he also ends up in massive debt. With nowhere left to turn, he jumps to his death, thinking that his passing will solve all his problems. He believes that creditors will no longer come knocking and his children won't have to pay his debts. But reality is not that simple. After his death, creditors quickly find Jiang Nan's son, demanding that she repay her father's debts. A father's debt is a son's responsibility, is considered a fundamental truth in traditional culture, and Jiang Nan's son has no choice. To pay off her father's debts, she gives up her chance to pursue a doctorate and even sacrifices a promising career. This isn't the worst of it. The debt also ruins her relationship with her boyfriend, who, misunderstanding her situation, breaks up with her. This story highlights a common issue. If parents don't clear their debts during their lifetime, their children will bear the burden. The pressure can not only affect their daily lives, but also destroy their careers and happiness. As seniors, we must understand that in our later years, we already require extra care and support from our children, adding to their responsibilities. If we leave them with the additional burden of our debts, the pressure will only multiply, potentially affecting their entire lives. Therefore, by the time you reach 80, it's important to find a way to clear all outstanding debts during your lifetime. Don't let your children inherit responsibilities you couldn't fulfill. The goal of old age should be to reduce the burden on your children, not to add more. Debts are not just a financial strain. They also bring emotional and social pressure, which can strain or even break family bonds. From ancient times, the saying, "a debt must be repaid," has been considered a matter of principle. As seniors, we should not shirk this responsibility simply because we're older or believe we're unable to repay. Avoiding this responsibility will not only damage personal integrity, but also set a poor example for our children, who may adopt the same irresponsible attitude when they face challenges in the future. In contrast, seniors who fulfill their responsibilities and value their reputation will earn their children's respect and maintain harmony in the family. Even in times of financial difficulty, it's important to actively seek solutions and repay debts step by step, teaching the next generation the virtues of integrity and accountability. Parents are role models for their children, especially in their later years. The way seniors handle life's challenges has a lasting impact on their children's behavior and values. Clearing debts early is not only a responsibility to oneself, but also an act of love for one's children, allowing them to move forward without unnecessary burdens and live happier, lighter lives. Fourth thing, maintain a regular routine for good health. Mr. Chong from our neighborhood is 80 years old, but still full of energy and in great health, earning the envy of many younger people. He often says, "With a good routine, 80 won't feel like 80. His disciplined lifestyle has become the stuff of legend in our community. Every morning at 6 a.m., the neighborhood residents can see Mr. Chong in his Tai Chi outfit, practicing Tai Chi in the park. With each slow movement, his body and mind seem to sync with the rhythm of nature. After his practice, he returns home to enjoy a nutritious breakfast, typically featuring fresh fruits, whole grains, and high-protein foods to fuel his day. In the late morning, Mr. Chong often takes a walk to the market, picking out the freshest produce of the day. He chats with the vendors, exchanging lighthearted stories and news. His optimism and humor make him a beloved figure at the market. People know that Mr. Chong isn't just a fitness enthusiast, but also the life of the party. After a short afternoon nap, Mr. Chong spends time in his study, enjoying the peace and quiet with a good book. His study is filled with a wide range of books, from classical literature to modern fiction, from philosophy to science. Mr. Chong often says, "You're never too old to learn." His love of lifelong learning inspires everyone around him and emphasizes the importance of keeping one's mind sharp. In the evening, he takes leisurely walks with his neighbors, enjoying casual conversations as they stroll in the setting sun. After the walk, he heads home early to rest, making sure to get plenty of sleep to prepare for the next day. When people ask about the secret to his vitality, Mr. Chong always smiles and says, "It's simple. Stick to a routine, eat well, exercise, stay curious, and most importantly, keep a good attitude." Mr. Chang's health and fulfilling life are the results of his regular routine. For seniors, a consistent routine not only boosts the immune system and reduces the risk of illness, but also improves mental health, allowing them to enjoy every moment of life. By contrast, seniors with irregular routines often suffer from fatigue and low spirits, leading to a decline in their quality of life. In the long term, this not only makes it difficult for them to find happiness, but also causes their children to worry about their well-being, potentially affecting their children's lives as well. Therefore, seniors over 80 should follow Mr. Chang's example by maintaining a healthy routine, ensuring a richer, more fulfilling retirement. Conclusion: seniors over 80 are often considered the treasures of the family, and their health and well-being concern everyone. At this stage of life, it's especially important to plan carefully for all aspects of living. Once you cross the threshold of 80, life nears its final chapter, and how you spend your remaining time becomes increasingly crucial. Wise seniors plan ahead for these four essential matters, ensuring not only a happier retirement for themselves, but also lightening the load for their children. Taking responsibility for yourself and thinking of your family is the wisdom of old age and the secret to lasting family harmony. That's all for today's sharing, and thank you for watching. If you enjoyed our content, please remember to subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell so you can be the first to get the latest video updates. Thank you for your support.